Chapter 16. Suchness. Tathagata Suchness. Subhuti. As non-observation of all dharmas, to be sure, is this dharma set forth. Nowhere is this dharma obstructed. Identical with space this dharma is, beyond even ultimacy marked with non-obstruction, as no trace can be purely cognized of such prior to, during, or after any dharma, which is indicated only by what's best described as objective observation and appearance. When purely cognized unconditionally, dharma, as all phenomena whatsoever, comes to be revealed as some thing, which can only seem to be what it is, yet neither is nor can be what it seems. No dharma exists as such, yet all dharmas are. At what seems the very least, perception will vouch for such. Yet perception itself is identical with this mysterious dharma. These are all identical. So now, any dharmas as such cognized in, such cannot be purely cognized as other than such. So here is no counterpart, as pure emptiness without any second, nor even a first from which a second might be determined. Such is incalculable, beyond number, immeasurable, truly infinite, purely no thing whatsoever. Here is no opponent, as such is beyond all opposites. Such as this appears without a trace. Here can be no cause, indeed, here is no cause to become as such. This is non-produced, as by some other acting as producer or doing something to produce, as here is no occasion, such as rebirth from something other than what this simply is. Here can be no path, as in truth no path exists which can be cognized. Chakra and the gods. Born as this image of the Lord is disciple holy Subhuti, this elder. Whichever dharma Subhuti demonstrates is merely indicated, truly an emanation of emptiness. Subhuti. As he is not born is Subhuti the elder born, as this image of Tathagata. He is born as this reflection of Tathagata's suchness, as neither coming nor going, so Subhuti of suchness neither comes nor goes. With nothing whatsoever to establish any beginning, Subhuti the elder simply is this Tathagata's suchness. Suchness as Tathagata and suchness as all dharmas is the same thing. These are both suchness and same as Subhuti this elder. This image as Subhuti the elder is suchness, hence the same manner of Tathagata's. Yet suchness is also empty of anything as suchness. So this non-image of suchness Subhuti emanates. It is in this sense elder Subhuti is emanated, as this image of Tathagata's as a result of the non-establishable order of suchness of Tathagata. Subhuti's suchness is immutable and unchangeable, undiscriminated and undifferentiated suchness of Tathagata's. Thusly, Subhuti this elder, immutable, unchangeable, undiscriminated, undifferentiated, through this suchness, is this very image of any and all Tathagata. So again, just as this suchness of Tathagata's, immutable and undifferentiated, is nowhere obstructed, so all suchness of all dharmas is immutable and undifferentiated. Suchness of Tathagata's and this suchness of all dharmas are infinite and unlimited suchness. Neither two nor any division of any one is possible. A non-dual suchness, however, is nowhere, is from nowhere, belongs to nowhere. It is as it is suchness, belonging nowhere, it is non-dual. Here through non-producible suchness, this elder Subhuti is emanated, even as non-image of all Tathagatas. Non-producible suchness, however, is no time not suchness and non-dual. It is in this non-sense, elder Subhuti emanates as any and all imagery of the race of Tathagatas beyond any and all phenomena. As suchness of Tathagata is undiscriminated and undifferentiated at all times and in all dharmas, so suchness of the eminent Subhuti. For this reason, although it seems a duality in which Subhuti has been conjured up from suchness of Tathagatas, nevertheless nothing is lopped off from any suchness, which as a bound infinity devoid even of any center or direction, remains perfect and unbroken, as one cannot apprehend any real or imagined outside agent which could break such a part. In this sense is the eminent Subhuti the elder emanated as this image of any Tathagata. As suchness of Tathagata cannot be other than or outside suchness of any and all dharmas, so also suchness of Subhuti. So also, whatever is or appears as outside suchness of dharmas, this is nothing which is not also suchness. Suchness of Subhuti is here just the same as suchness of all dharmas, suchness of all Tathagatas. Subhuti the elder undergoes this experience of suchness of all dharmas. As such an emanated image of suchness is Subhuti called emanated such as Tathagatas. It is also by and as suchness of Tathagatas, and not only his own, he conforms to suchness. It is just through suchness of Tathagatas he conforms to any past suchness. As it is also through any past suchness he conforms to suchness of Tathagatas. Likewise with future and present dharmas as suchness. It is through suchness of Tathagatas he conforms to any such thing as past, future, and present suchness, and it is through any past, future, and present suchness he conforms to suchness of Tathagatas. In this sameness of elucidation, suchness of Subhuti and any past, future, and present suchness, and suchness of Tathagatas are not two, nor any division such as any past, future, or present. Suchness of any and all dharmas, and suchness of Subhuti, are anywhere or as any way not two, nor any division. And also, suchness of the Lord as he is a bodhisattva is suchness of the Lord as he realizes full enlightenment. And this is same suchness through which any bodhisattva, as one definitely realizes full enlightenment, comes to be called a Tathagata. The earth shakes and many are saved. As this disquisition of suchness of Tathagatas takes place, the great earth shakes in 6 ways, stirs, quakes, is agitating, resounding, and tumbling, as Tathagata removes any obstruction to full enlightenment. Subhuti. It is thus, O gods, Subhuti the elder is emanated as this formless form of Tathagata, but he is not emanated as an image of form, nor any fruits of a holy life, from the fruit of a stream winner to Buddhahood. As any dharmas which may appear to be born after the image of anything, or in any image of which these may appear to be born, do not exist. Still are these not got at. Thusly Subhuti the elder emanates in the image of Tathagata. Shariputra. Suchness, O Lord, courses beyond even depth. The Lord. So it is, Shariputra. Yet as this disquisition of suchness is expounded, the minds of 300 monks are freed from the outflows without any further clinging. 500 nuns obtain the pure, dispassionate, and unstained Dharma eye. 5,000 gods, who in the past had made the necessary preparations, acquire this patient acceptance of dharmas which fail to be produced, and the minds of 6,000 bodhisattvas are freed from the outflows without any further clinging. Perfect wisdom and skill in means. Shariputra knows the thoughts of these bodhisattvas are free from outflows without any further clinging, and asks the Lord for the reason or cause of such. The Lord. These bodhisattvas honor 500 Buddhas, and during all this time are generous, disciplined, perfecting patience, exercising diligence and concentration. But these are not upheld by perfect wisdom and lack in skill and means. And so, although these gain this path of emptiness, course in signlessness, put their minds to work on wishlessness, yet still wanting skill and means, these realize the reality limit, and come forth on the level of Shravaka disciple or Pratyeka Buddha, still not coming forth toward the level of a Buddha. Suppose here is a very huge bird, 100 or up to 500 miles large, but without any wings, or with crippled or damaged wings. This bird now wants to fly down to Jambudvipa from the heaven of the gods of the 33. In intermediate space, the middle of its journey to Jambudvipa, it wants to return to the gods of the 33. Is it able to do so? Shariputra. No, Lord. The Lord. And can it hope to come down on Jambudvipa without damage or injury? Shariputra. No, Lord. It is bound to get damaged and injured. And as it drops down on Jambudvipa, it incurs death or deadly pain. Just the fact that, whereas its body is huge, the strength of its wings is insufficient, so it just drops down from above. The Lord. So it is, Shariputra. Even as a bodhisattva, after one raises one's mind to full enlightenment for countless eons, gives gifts, shows discipline, perfects patience, exercises diligence, and has excellent concentration. However great this setting forth, and this thought raised to full enlightenment, as one is not upheld by perfect wisdom and lacks skill and means, one is bound to fall on the level of Shravaka disciple or Pratyeka Buddha. Furthermore, Shariputra, it may be as this bodhisattva brings to mind and retains in one's mind of the Buddhas and Lords, past, future, and present, the self-discipline, the concentration, the wisdom, the emancipation, the vision and cognition of emancipation. But all this after the manner of a sign, this sign being an object of attention, a basis of recognition, or some such occasion for entrancement. This one now neither knows nor sees self-discipline of Tathagatas, nor their concentration or wisdom or emancipation, nor their vision and cognition of emancipation. Ignorant of these, blind to these, one hears this word emptiness, treats this as a sign, and wishes to convert this imagined massive merit over into full enlightenment, which one regards as emptiness. As consequence, such a one as this remains on the level of a Shravaka disciple or Pratyeka Buddha. As the fact is, this one is not upheld by perfect wisdom, and as well does this one lack in skill and means, both more silent than a whisper, and the gentle wind from space providing innate guidance. Shariputra, as I understand the meaning of the Lord's teaching, although a bodhisattva is joined to a huge carriage of merit, as long as this one is not upheld by perfect wisdom and is without skill and means, such a one lacks the good friend, and this one's attainment of full enlightenment is uncertain. A bodhisattva aspiring to reveal full enlightenment for others and self, in this develops this perfection of wisdom, even as skillful means. The Lord, so it is, Shariputra. Chakra and the gods. Unfathomable, O Lord, is perfect wisdom. Difficult to win, exceedingly hard to win is full enlightenment. The Lord, so it is, O gods. Deep is this perfection of wisdom, difficult to win, exceedingly hard to win is full enlightenment, as one is weak in wisdom, below the mark in diligence and resolve, unskilled in means, and as one serves friends who have less than good intent in action. Enlightenment and emptiness. Subhuti. How is it the Lord says full enlightenment is difficult to know, exceedingly difficult to acknowledge, and here is no one who can get at enlightenment? As emanations of emptiness are all dharmas, no dharmas exist which is able to win enlightenment. All dharmas are empty. This dharma for the forsaking of which dharma is demonstrated, this dharma does not exist, as well as this dharma which might have been enlightened in full enlightenment, and this which could have been enlightened, and this which might have cognized the enlightenment, and this which could have cognized such. All of these dharmas are empty. In this manner I am inclined to think that full enlightenment is easy to win, not hard to win. The Lord. As this cannot possibly come about, is full enlightenment, difficult to obtain, attain, or get at, as in reality this enlightenment is not here, for this can neither be discriminated nor figured as a base or ultimacy whatsoever, as this is not fabricated in either reality or false appearances. Shariputra. As this is empty, is this hard to win, O Subhuti? Such does not occur to space as winning full enlightenment, as such, for instance, as without own being. Any and all dharmas are already known in enlightenment. All dharmas are space. And Subhuti, if full enlightenment were easy to win, then countless bodhisattvas would not turn away from this. As countless bodhisattvas do turn away from this, here one can discern full enlightenment is hard to win, exceedingly hard to win. Subhuti. But, Shariputra, does form, feeling, perception, impulse, or consciousness turn away from full enlightenment? Shariputra. No, Subhuti. Subhuti. Is this dharma which turns away from full enlightenment other than form? Shariputra. No, Subhuti. Subhuti. Does suchness of form turn away? Shariputra. No, Subhuti. Subhuti. Is this dharma which turns away from full enlightenment other than suchness of form? No, Subhuti. Does form know full enlightenment? No, Subhuti. Is the dharma which knows full enlightenment other than form? No, Subhuti. Does suchness of form know full enlightenment? No, Subhuti. Is the dharma which knows full enlightenment other than the suchness of form? No, Subhuti. Should form be known in full enlightenment, or any dharma other than form, or the suchness of form, or a dharma other than the suchness of form? No, Subhuti. Does suchness turn away from full enlightenment? No, Subhuti. Is some dharma which turns away from full enlightenment in suchness? No, Subhuti. What, Shariputra, is this dharma which turns away from full enlightenment, as we consider this as standing in this nature of dharmas, which is just emptiness, as so too in this manner of taking no stand in any dharma? Or what dharma is this suchness? It is perhaps suchness is turned away? No, Subhuti. As thus, in ultimate truth, and as things stand, no dharma is apprehended as real. What is this dharma which is turned away from full enlightenment? Shariputra. As one adopts this method of considering dharmas as ultimate reality, which Subhuti the elder uses in this exposition, indeed here is no dharma which turns away from full enlightenment. But now, Venerable Subhuti, here is no longer any ground for the distinction of these who sets their hearts on enlightenment into three kinds of persons, who differ with respect to the vehicle which they have chosen, as described by the Tathagata. According to this exposition of the Venerable Subhuti, here is only one vehicle, for those whose hearts are set on enlightenment, this being the Buddha vehicle, the Bodhisattva vehicle, the Great Vehicle. Purna. First of all, the Venerable Shariputra must ask the Venerable Subhuti the elder whether he admits even one single kind of being whose heart is set on enlightenment, and who uses either the vehicle of the Shravaka disciples, or that of the Pratyeka Buddhas, or the Great Vehicle. Shariputra. Subhuti, do you admit even one single kind of being whose heart is set on enlightenment, and who uses either the vehicle of the disciples, or that of the Bodhisattvas, or the Great Vehicle? Subhuti. Shariputra. Do you see as suchness of suchness even one single being whose heart is set on enlightenment? Be this one who uses the vehicle of the Shravaka disciples, or that of the Pratyeka Buddhas, or the Great Vehicle? Shariputra. No, Subhuti. Suchness, first of all, is not apprehended as of three kinds, how much less by any being whose heart is set on enlightenment? Subhuti. Is now suchness apprehended as of one kind even? Shariputra. No, Subhuti. Subhuti. Do you now perhaps see in suchness even one single dharma which would constitute a being whose heart is set on enlightenment? Shariputra. No, Subhuti. Subhuti. Thus, in ultimate truth, as things stand, such a dharma which constitutes any being whose heart is set on enlightenment cannot be apprehended. Where do you get this idea? This one belongs to the vehicle of the disciples, that one to the vehicle of the Pratyeka Buddhas, and that one to the Great Vehicle. Any bodhisattva which hears this absence of difference, distinction, or differentiation between the three kinds of persons who set their hearts on enlightenment, insofar as we are each and all encompassed as suchness, and do not become cowed or stolid in mind, do not turn back, now any of these ones know, such as these go forth to enlightenment. The Lord. Well said, Subhuti. Through this might and sustaining power of Tathagata, you are inspired to say this. Shariputra. To which enlightenment, O Lord, will these bodhisattvas go forth? The Lord. To this full and supreme enlightenment, so difficult to win. Requisites of going forth to enlightenment. Subhuti. How does a bodhisattva behave? How does one train as one wants to go forth into realization to this full enlightenment? The Lord. The bodhisattva adopts the same attitude toward all beings. One's mind is even, equanimous toward all beings. One does not handle others with an uneven mind, but with a mind which is friendly, well-disposed, helpful, free from aversion, avoiding harm and hurt, and handles others as if these were one's mother, father, son, or daughter. As a refuge, and one able to benefit any and all beings, does any bodhisattva behave towards all beings? Does one train oneself, as one wants to know full enlightenment? A bodhisattva stands in abstention from all evil, as also one gives gifts, guards discipline, perfects patience, exerts diligence, enters into mental stabilization, achieves mastery through perfection of wisdom, surveys conditioned co-production, both in direct and in reverse order, and also one instigates, incites, and encourages others to do the same. One takes the same stance in everything, from the meditation on these truths to such a stage as one reaches certainty. As a bodhisattva, this one is liberated from defilements and samsaric bondage, and as one matures, any and all beings, instigates these to do the same, and incites and encourages these. As one longs eagerly for all this, and trains oneself in it, so everything is uncovered to one such as these, from form to the established order of Dharma.